So I hope. Okay, strength work. We're going to cover our bases today with strength work. So one of the things that you got to know is when you're going to lift weights specifically for arm, shoulder, quads, hamstring, those are the parts of muscles that you want to warm up. What better way, if you're going to do real strength work, to warm up not only your legs, but your back, your shoulders, then to put on your shoes. See here, I'm going wide. I'm going to hip hinge, then I'm going to stand back up. See that? Here's my shoes. I'm putting them right here. Do you see what I just did? Hip hinge, come back up. Pull your shoulders down and back. Hip hinge. See, here's my chair. Yes, I'm going to put on my shoes. However, I'm using this because I'm covering my bases as a way to get the muscles that I'm going to be overloading warmed up. So as I go down to sit, to put on my shoes, I do allow about 6 sit to stands. See this? And if I'm having joint problems, a knee problem, a foot problem, a hip problem, a back problem, your goal is to stay independently mobile, correct? And if you're having any of those issues and you're saying, oh, but it hurts to go and sit down, I'm saying, well, if you can move in a sit to stand, you can do this workout, but we need to warm those parts up. See how I'm just doing this? So I've done probably 6, maybe more. Kathy would tell me more. I hear you, Kathy. But this is a very important thing to this workout today because we're going to cover our bases on strength work. Now, I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to bring my leg over like this. Then I'm going to bring my leg over like this. Okay? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm turning. I'm dropping my chin. I'm pulling my leg a little bit further every time. I'm going to take a big breath through my nose. I'm going to put my hands right here. And as a matter of fact, this little move that I'm doing right here can be quite challenging for some of us, okay? If you have a sciatic issue, if you have a hip issue, you have a knee issue. Now, don't just see, I'm fixing to put my shoes on, and in the process, I'm warming up, I'm flossing those joints, okay? I said that to somebody and they said, oh, you're doing a dance in your class? I'm like, oh, no, it's not that kind of flossing. There's a dance move called flossing. And actually it's the same kind of a concept. That's probably where they got this. But look what I'm doing with my feet. Because see, we're gonna do some real important ankle and foot manipulation today, or movement, okay? Manipulation, I guess, would be you moving it, which sometimes you have to move it with your own hand, but you're going to do the work. See what I'm doing? Number 1, take the time to do this with me. Don't just keep walking around saying, oh, she's just doing a warm-up. No, this is very integral to our class. Number 1, I'm pulling my knee in here. Very big warm-up stretch for your hamstring, your gluteal, the sciatic nerve area, okay? And I'm going point and flex and circling. So what am I doing with my ankle? I'm doing that flossing. Yeah, and I'm pulling this in because my knee is as bent as it can be. So this was my hip replace side. Then I'm going to go do it on the other side. And I might do this 3 times, 6 times, whatever. See how I come right over here. I act like I'm going to cross my leg. I say rib cage up. This is very important right here. Rib cage up. As if somebody's pulling your rib cage up. You grab your your hands clasped across your knee. I'm turning my neck. And as I pull my knee in toward me and lean in to get that really good motion going up through my back, through my gluteal, my hip, my hamstring, but now my lower leg, look what I'm doing with my foot. I'm going point flex, and then I circle, and I do point flex. And as you're doing pointing and flexing, and you're turning your neck from side to side, you're doing pointing and flexing, and then circling the opposite way with your ankle. You're giving your whole musculature, your whole joint range, an unloaded form of warming up. And sometimes you gotta unload if you're having some issues with some of these things. See the foot? Yeah. So the tibialis anterior and posterior, we're gonna work on today, because those are very important in your foot and ankle, okay? And your whole leg, but your foot and ankle, because that's what controls your foot in many respects. If you can pull your toe up, point your toe down, go inside, go outside, that has everything to do with this part of your leg, okay? Not only your shin here, but inside here. So it's the posterior and interior muscles that are on your shin, okay? Take a big breath. So now I'm going down, I'm putting on those socks. And if you notice, when I put my socks on and I don't bring it up here, as I go down here to put my sock on, I want you to check. Do you see my back? See, as I go down, I have to have enough flexibility in my hip that allows me to get low enough to put the sock on. If I can't do that, I must bring my leg up, okay? So as I bring my leg up, I have to rotate back and put my foot on the side of a bed, on a chair, on a little stool, and put my sock on. Why? Because some of you, I've gone over this before, I'm going to do it again. This motion to put on a sock and shoe, this is covering our bases. You round your back and you don't even realize you're rounding your back. Now see, if I want to do this, that's perfectly fine. If I don't want to go all the way down to put my foot in my shoe, but my back is what? It's extended. You put it on, you lean forward again. So I'm going through some very specific movements that if you get up and put shoes on, you do it every day. And you can either help yourself or you can work against yourself in doing this very simple maneuver. Now look what I'm doing, tying my shoes. That requires me to stay down here for a bit. Okay? See my back? I keep my back very extended. And how do you do that? What's my cueing? If I were standing behind any of you and leaning over, I would and tuck my hands right into your rib cage, and I pulled your rib cage up. Just do it with your hands right now with me. Just do this. Put your fingers under your rib cage and pull up on them. See that? That's what I mean when I say pull your rib cage up. It will immediately straighten your back so that you are in an extended position. Now, I have gone through some very specific things while I put my shoes on. And why do I keep doing this? Because many people, not my class anymore, because you've heard this ad nauseum, right? But it's true. Many people, in fact, I watched my husband one time, we were on our way to a big conference he had to do, and we were flying. And in the airport, he actually sat down and he bent over to put his shoes on, but because his back was rounded, because he didn't listen to me, he pulled his back totally out. because he went like this and his back was in a rounded, very vulnerable position, okay? So this hip hinge, as you do this, and then you bring your legs up, and here's a very important way. We haven't done this one before, but I'm gonna do it today, okay? So I've done a lot of hip hinging, putting my shoes on, correct? Then I come here, take a big breath through your nose, drop your shoulders, say rib cage up, and now you're gonna push into your heels. You're gonna lift into this position right here. And now you're going to just for a second or two, go until you feel this stretch here. And then you're gonna come right back down. Take a big breath, press, take a big breath. See, I'm crossing over, press. And see, we do a lot of pattern walking before, I think like on Friday, I think that's when I did it. Take a big breath through your nose. Here we go again. Right here or here, either one. Back is extended. Shine your tail lights. Dig into your heels. See how wide I am right here? Okay, some of you are trying to do this and your legs are way in here. Get those legs out there. Hip hinge forward. Now push into the heels and come right here. Put your elbows on your knees, on top of your knees, and go until you feel a stretch, and then pull your toes up, shift, shift, and come back down and come back down. Yes. Then I'm gonna turn here and I'm gonna lean back just for a second. And I do a lot of these at the end of a class, but we're fixing to do some work with these big muscles, okay? So I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna lean back until I feel that stretch. And see, I'm not putting my shoelaces down, but I'm going back and forth at least 3 times, possibly even 6 times. See how I'm gonna lean back? So pretend I'm pressing you back. My toe is down here, see, toe. And then I come back, take a breath. Here we go, turn. Here we go, back. Big breath. And you feel that nice, gentle pull coming right through that quad. Very important. Last one, and then we're gonna grab our weights, okay? We're gonna, and I'm doing this all unloaded. I don't know if you've caught that. But when you're having issues with joints, especially in the leg, the back, man, sometimes it's just, you're just like, oh, it's just so hard here because this hurts and I don't want to move. So I'm trying to give you an alternative way to move, cover your bases. You see what I'm doing? Do you see what I'm doing now? I'm pushing on the arm, the elbow, against my leg. I'm turning opposite until I feel a stretch coming in the groin. Now I do this whole thing very wide with my feet, unloaded, but the shoulders are down, okay? Right there, push, pull, drop your chin, push, pull, drop your chin. Yes, take a big deep breath. Now I'm gonna lead the choir. I'm gonna come up. If you just did those moves that I did trying to get your shoes on, oh my goodness, you're gonna feel so much release through here and here if you took the time to do those warm-up moves with me. We're gonna be using our band today. We're gonna be using our free weights and our leg weights, okay? So I'm gonna do my band first as I start into this motion of putting load on my joints. So now I'm standing, okay? If I couldn't stand for some reason, I have a foot problem, I have a knee problem, whatever, my back, I'll do all of this seated with somebody. So here's my little band. I'm gonna put my hands in here, just like this. See that? Thumbs are up. This is an extra long band. That's number one. You have joint problems, shoulder problems. These kind of bands are great. Some of you have long bands that you can tie knots in and make it a little extra long, okay? So this one is probably about 12 inches long. A regular band is maybe 10 inches. Okay, so see this? Number one, if you've had shoulder issues, this is going to help release some of the tension in them. See, I'm going to step out like this. See that? If you have balance issues, don't step straight in front of your other leg. Open it up wide, but my toes are forward, okay? So as you do that, drop your shoulders, tighten in or brace, okay? Take a big breath through the nose. The backs of my hands are right there, because see, I don't want a full fisted pull right now. I want the backs of the arms, and as I'm standing in this stance, my knees are soft, shoulders are down. Then I'm going to pull my hands back with my elbows trying to touch in the back as I put pressure on the backs of my hands, okay? This is going to pull up a great release through your shoulders. Now, it's not a release right now, because as I'm standing here, see, this is right back here. My elbows are trying to pinch together. Why? Because if I try to pinch my elbows together in this position with an extended back, my knees are soft, it's going to make me keep my shoulders down, and it's using some muscles in your whole shoulder girdle that's very important to your function. Okay, drop your shoulders again. See how I'm holding it? I know. Take a breath. Okay, release. Bingo. Right there. Oh my goodness. If you have a lot of tenderness through here because of the way you use your shoulders, or you've done extra gardening work, or something you did kicked up your shoulder, okay? Number one, look at what you did. What was your activity in the last, I don't know, day or two? Okay, that's number one. Number two, what are your previous injuries? Okay, now we're going to do this again. I've switched my stance. So my other leg is forward. My toes are forward, but my knees are very bent, okay? I'm not leaning out like this. See, I'm not doing this. So pull yourself back, drop your chin, yeah, brace. Number two, oh, I'm hoping this isn't, woo. Okay, I have to come back. One of my children, okay. They keep calling you even though they're 40. Okay, here we go. Drop your shoulders. Yes. Now, look what I'm doing. I'm doing it again. See? Right here. Big breath. Drop your shoulders. Pull back. Very important to shoulder release. Drop your shoulders. Pull the elbows in like you're trying to touch, while you put pressure on the backs of your hands to pull them apart. See that? That's what sets up the scenario that you need in your shoulders to release some very tight muscles. Yeah, you can go get a massage or whatever, but you're going to still have that tightness unless you learn how to do some of this, okay? See, I'm dropping my shoulders. I'm saying rib cage up. My knees are soft. Take a big breath. Pull with the backs of your hands. Keep your chin tucked. Elbows in, elbows in, elbows in. Drop your shoulders. Take a breath. Take a breath. Hold it. 5. Hold it. Push. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Oh, okay. See, I didn't grab it like this. That's going to make me use my arms differently. Okay. Now, coming off of that, I'll put my little band here, and I'm going to open and close, and I'm going to just do this. See this? You go like this, and then you turn your hands up. See? I'm going to go here like this, and then I'm going to turn my hands up. Why? Because when you come here and you keep your hands down, you keep rolling forward. So hip hinge, Shoulders down, chin is tucked. You're going just like this, but when you come here, you turn your thumb up. See that? That little move right there. Whoa, that is a key move for people that have rounded shoulders and they're trying to not have rounded shoulders. Here we go. Okay, see I'm hip hinged. Push my butt back. Okay, drop your shoulders just like this. Up, just like that. Keep your chin tucked. Big breath. Yeah, here we go. Right there. So if you are having a day that you're just like, oh, I'm just too stiff to do this, do the first part that we just did, and I used some basic moves to get you into this position, okay? Now we're gonna start with our band again, and we're gonna start doing the real active loading, okay? So I'm gonna take my split stance, see that? And here's the thing. We're going to work at doing a single leg stance while we start to upper body load, okay? And we're gonna do this with our weights here in just a minute. Let me scoot back so I make sure that you're seeing what I'm doing. I think I'm good to go. Okay, so here we go. See this? And then we go lift. See that? See that little lift right there? I know, that's an important one. Step back. I got my little band, I'm fixing the load. Ready? I'm gonna step as if I'm gonna go ahead and bring this back leg up, but I don't. So instead of caving and bending here, I'm gonna drop my shoulders. I'm gonna lean into this leg, the front leg, and I'm gonna hold my balance for just a second, okay? So for some of you, this is gonna be a big challenge, okay? You release your toe and lift your heel a little tiny bit, and then you try to hang out here for just a little bit, and then you come back, okay? So I wanted to use both legs as the lead leg or the support leg, and the other leg as a kickstand. I want to do them both so you felt which one is stronger for you. And now we're going to do a task that's a compound move, because we're going to do the same move. See this? So if you're caving and you feel yourself excessively, you're going to lean. But I don't want you caving and rounding your back here. So single leg standing is one of the biggest moves that you can do to help you maintain balance, because you have to work at this, okay? This is not something we go around doing all day long, okay? There's where the training comes in. So here I go. Shoulders are down, chin is tucked in. I'm putting pressure on this lead leg. Uncurl your toes. Gotcha. Now, always, when we're doing single leg stances, always do it where there's a counter, a chair, a bar, a wall. Safety first, okay? So here I go. See this? See this? See this? See what I just did? See, I didn't come way up. And I put my hand here just momentarily. Okay? Breath. Release your toe, but don't really lift the leg. Just lift the toe up so that if you need to, you can put your toe right back down. Okay? So pressure, yes. Extend the back, yes. Lift the heel up, just bring the toe up just for a second. Now grab your band and go pull, pull. Slowly, gently. It's going to pull you off because you're going side to side, side to side. Drop your shoulders, drop your shoulders. Take a big breath, take a big breath. Drop your shoulders, side pull, then the other side pull. See the hands moving, shoulders down, shoulders down, shoulders down. Step back. So I can tell you, I'm telling you, I feel like I just got a shot right here in my butt muscle. Yes. Okay. Take a big breath. This was my supporting leg. Now it's not going to be the supporting leg. It's going to be the lifting leg. Okay. Now, if you really hit it, turn your toe out. That'll release it immediately. Just like that. Okay. Okay. So here I am. Now my other leg is my support leg. Okay. Take a breath into the nose, drop your shoulders, brace. So I say brace instead of pulling your tummy, because you know why? Some of you pull in your tummy so hard and you're concentrating on that, you quit breathing, okay? And then your eyes start bulging and you turn blue and, it just becomes a mess. I hope you're laughing right now. Okay, I'm being real with you. I know what happens. I've done this a long time. I watch people when they're working. Okay, see how I'm setting myself up here? I'm getting ready. My other foot now is going to be the stepping. See? So instead of bringing this leg forward and making a step, this is the leg that's going to be lifting. Okay? So now I'm putting all my pressure on the other foot. Okay? Now, I got my band, I'm ready to work, but I got to get on balance. So my foot's back here. This is my challenge side because this is my hip replace side. You may see me put my hand gently on this little chair while I'm doing this. That's okay. Just don't lean on it hard, okay? Keep it there so that you don't overlean, because if I overlean, I'm not going to be working on the very muscles that I need to strengthen in this move, in this particular move, okay? So here we go. Brace, don't hold your breath. Bent knee, lift the heel, keep your toe hovering above the ground, then grab your little band, and you're gonna go pull, and you're gonna go pull. And you're gonna really be working this leg right here. Breath, breath. So seriously, between this move that I'm doing right now, the warm-up that we did, this move, and the very next move that I'm gonna do, that segment right there would cover your bases on your whole body getting loaded, okay? I mean loaded in a good way. Drop your shoulders, uncurl your toes, pull the leg up and back, and then work a little. See this? This is really making me work really hard. Don't overlean. If you're overleaning, I would rather you not work and put your hand here and just hold into that positioning, okay? And work and work. Take a big breath, uncurl your toes. Keep your toe off the ground in the back if you possibly can. Breath and breath and breath and breath, and bring it back in. And then if you've really built up a lot of tension, which I felt it so much in this leg and the calf area for sure, which I didn't get it in the calf and the others because of the different muscles that are weak from a knee being replaced and a hip being replaced. That's the way it is. Okay, are you ready now? So we did the push, pull. See this? See this? That's all I did in a single leg stance. And if I'm telling you, if you would challenge yourself to be able to get to where you can do like 3 sets of 10 or more, or do this work for 1 to 3 minutes to really push until you feel those muscles screaming at you, that's what's required to get your muscles stronger. Okay, are you ready? Here's the other move. This is the complementary move to doing all this lower body stuff. Yes, we brought in the upper body, but now we are simply going to do with a chair, some modified push-ups. Yes, I hate to say that because some of you are going to go, oh no, I can't do push-ups. So just put that out of your mind right now. Put your hands on your chair. And again, if you have trouble with your arms, your hands, use your pad. Use your little pad on your chair, okay? So here I am. I'm going to step back. I'm going to keep hip hinged and knee hinged. See this? See this? So as I come down in this little modified push-up, I am going to pull my elbows in so that they're facing my thigh, okay? Then I'm going to lower my whole body and then press back up. See that? So I'm going to do 2 positions today in a modified chair push-up. Now, what constitutes modified is how far out you go with your legs or how far in. See, I can come all the way in here. This is the first one. I'm sorry, I should have told you that. I did about the second or third one. I'm talking about position. Okay, so now I'm doing the first position. I'm right here, and I'm just gonna bring myself all the way down, and then I'm gonna push myself up. See, I'm gonna come down with my body and my elbows, and then I'm gonna push myself up. And how do you make your arms do this? You go into your toes so that you're not pressing through the feet. You're pressing through the upper body. So if I had somebody that had a lot of muscular issues, somebody with lupus, for instance, somebody with osteoporosis who can't do too much load at once, you're the ones who need to learn how to do a modified push-up. And why do you say? Why is that so important, Jeannie? Because I don't want to use a bedpan. That's why. Because I want to be able to come down here and I want to be able to use my arms and my legs. And I will either use my legs more or my arms more, depending on where I need to rest. And I will get to where I can do a good 2 sets and then 3 of a modified push-up. And I'm doing every one of these with you. So I want you to really be feeling this in the backs of your arms, a little bit in your legs, not much, because I'm making my arms do most of this work. See, I'm pushing through the open palm. I've got my elbows really turned in. They're not flared. And as I drop myself down, I'm just doing our fold that we've done many times. I'm using the chair and I'm pushing through the palm. Take a big breath. Okay, I think we're at the end of the first set. I think we're at 10 or 12. Kathy would know exactly, but I'm thinking that. Take a breath and come up. You should feel that tremendously through here and through here, okay? That was the first modification, the number 1 step. Then you step back. See, this is number 2. When you step back, you don't rotate yourself back. You still stay over the chair with your shoulders. You do not flare your elbows here. You keep them tucked in. This will be a challenge, okay? And if you're not ready to step back too far, don't do it. Especially if you have shoulder issues and you have, muscle issues and stuff, and you're the person who say, I can't do push-ups, I have this problem, that problem. I'm telling you, start with the modification. This is the modification. See, my feet are very much in here. I'm, no pun intended, I'm shouldering this move with my feet. My upper and lower body are working together. Make sure that you keep your knees like about 3 or 4 inches separated. See? Then if you're doing this with me, then you're back in this position. Okay, now I'm going to keep my elbows tucked and I'm going to come down and come up. I'm going to keep my chin tucked. Breath. I'm coming down. I'm going to go breath. Drop my shoulders. Keep my chin tucked. Breath. Tuck. Breath. Okay, this should be much more challenging, even though I just stepped back about a foot or so. I'm trying to keep my shoulders pretty much where they were. Take a breath. And take a breath. 2 more, 2 more. Here we go, here we go. 1 more. And back. And step in. And come up and come open. That should have been challenging, okay? So I did the first modification. I did the second positional modification. And so you might say, what's the third, Jeannie? You go out here like this. See this? And you just bend those elbows a little. And you come up. You bend those elbows a little. And you come up. You bend those elbows a little. And you come up. And then you step in. And you do only 2 or 3 all the way out in the modified push-up position. So it's basically a high plank position from a chair, okay? So now that you know how to do those different positions, let me introduce the second position for the bat wings under here. And it's not so much, it's because you want that shoulder to be strong, okay? And you go in and you push, and then you can do a flare. If you choose to do the flare position with me right now, and you have shoulder issues, you can do it, but you absolutely must keep those shoulders down, okay? So I'm gonna put my hands on the chair, and I'm going to take my elbows out a little, okay? And I'm gonna go to the medium position. And now I'm gonna go into the pectorials a little more. Okay, so I'm gonna open. I can even grab my chair if I want to and come right like this. And then come up, keep my chin tucked, flare those elbows. Now I'm much more into the shoulders, the pectorials, the lats. So I'm much more into those regions than just my arms, my triceps, okay? Keep your shoulders down. Take a big deep breath. Keep your shoulders down. Deep breath. Yes. And a deep breath. And come back in. And come back in and come back in. And come back up. Yay. All right. Now I'm ready to grab my free weights. I told you we were going to be doing some covering the bases. Okay, so if you learn the 2 positions or you continue to work with me on the 2 positions of your arms flared or in the push-ups, that will be a huge advantage for you. Okay, I'm going to go and pick up my weights that are, let's say, not just light, but they're a little heavier than light. Okay, so for me, a light would be picking up a 5 or 6 pound. So what I have right now is a 9 pound. So if you can do a 9 pound, do a split stance, okay, and do this kind of a curl, just like this, just like this. See, I'm keeping my elbows down. I'm starting to work with a medium to light weight. and I'm thinking about posture, and I'm getting the first set of my bicep curl using my whole shoulder. I'm using a split stance. So if you're in a split stance, you're already being a little more challenging, okay? We've already done a pre-fatiguing activity with our band, with our push-up segment. And after I've done those, I'm gonna say rib cage up, then I'm gonna pull back, I'm gonna bend the back knee, okay? And I'm gonna come here and then here, okay? Take a big breath. Loosen your grip. Yeah, some of you are holding onto the grip so tight, okay? So you wanna hold on to it, but just don't grip it super tight. That's number one. Number two, while you're doing this classic bicep curl, you wanna make sure your wrists stay neutral, okay? So the whole idea here is to be able to progress in these very basic, covering your bases moves. I've started with a 9 pound and a 9 pound, okay? And now I've done 2 positions thus far because upper body is very important for you to stay strong in your arms. And if you're going to, you gotta overload them, okay? And some of us have had real trouble with our shoulders and they were scared, okay? Scared means afraid to do a lot of work. I'm trying to show you how to do it safely. Okay, take a breath. That was the second set, okay? So I'm right here. I'm gonna switch because when you stay in that stance, you're gonna be overloading those muscles in your lower leg, okay? So now, split stance. You're not bending the back leg right now quite so much. Now we're gonna go right back and we're gonna do our hammer. See, hammer, hammer, hammer. So we're getting multiple sets, okay? But because I'm having you do a split stance and different positions with your knee, you're gonna be really overloading your lower body as well as your upper body. Take a breath. Couple more. Do not flare your elbow. Many people want to cheat and flare their elbow. And I know I got slugs out there. They're prone to cheating. Okay, take a breath. Getting into the second set. Yeah. Look here. See that? Palm is up. Now I bend the back knee and I pull myself back. I'm putting a lot of pressure on that back leg, especially the calf. Drop your shoulders. Do not break at the wrist, okay? Now I'm gonna go one at a time, okay? So there's good benefit in doing one at a time. Number one, it's more manageable so that you don't swing to lift the weight, okay? Number two, you're not putting as much pressure collectively on your joints, okay? We're doing a higher repetition. And number three, this makes you use your brain differently. When you do one side versus the other side instead of both together, it kind of makes you have to think, oh, how do I do this? Let's see. See, it clues up the brain a little better. Take a breath, keep the back knee bent, say rib cage up. I know it, you're getting tired, stay with me. I'm doing all these with you. Take a big breath through the nose. Just one more. Here we go. Yay. Okay. Walk. Brace. Yeah. Just brace through your stomach. By bracing, you stay in control of your posture. You keep breathing. See, I'm just kind of doing a little recovery moving, okay? Then I'm gonna bring these very same weight. I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna come open, okay? Now, instead of just standing here or standing in a split stance, what I'm gonna do is shift, bring the heel up, put the heel down, okay? Drop your shoulders, shift, bring just your heel up. Okay, here's my question. When I have you shifting your weight into the supporting leg, did you lock your knee? I know it, okay? As you have your weights right here, see how I have them resting on my shoulders. Bring your elbows in to line with the side of your body. In other words, I don't want you to flare your elbows here, okay? Take a big breath into the nose. See how I'm shifting? And all I'm doing is bringing the elbow up, the heel up. Yeah, okay, now shift, bring those elbows in, stay rib cage up. That's very important because you're gonna bring your knee up just for a second. Now put it back down. Take a big breath, bring your elbows in, drop your shoulders, shift, bring your heel up, unlock your knee, and just bring your knee up a little bit and then put it down, okay? I know you will get better and better at hanging your foot up here in the air while you're holding these weights. Now put that foot down, take a breath. This is my challenge side, and I'm thinking very much of people out there with multiple hips replaced. Say rib cage up. Number one, just kind of flirt with bringing your toe off the ground. See, on your real challenging sides, you just want a couple seconds at first. See this? Unlock your knee, unlock your knee. Yeah, see, you get better and better and better because you're training not just your muscles, but your motor neurons of how to do this. Then bring them in, then bring them in. That should be a load, okay? Yeah, it should be a load. Okay, now I'm gonna put these weights over. And I'm gonna go up 1. So I'm going up to 12. So I'm gonna have 12 and 12 for the next part, okay? 12 and 12, the next part, 12 and 12. In between the 12 and 12 that I'm gonna grab, okay? I'm gonna open and close. I'm gonna go across, open and close, and I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna step over. So here's the thing. I do a lot of patterned walking in here. Well, what is dance? Dance is a great example of patterned walking. Maybe trotting. And I have dancers out there that will go, yeah, you got a point there. That's exactly what it is. If you want to keep helping yourself to ambulation without tripping over your own feet, then you've got to do this kind of work on a regular basis. Good shoes are important. Waking up your feet is important, but doing this kind of pattern recovery walking, we just had a big load. I felt the load. I hope you did with the weight you chose. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. Now I'm gonna go heavier weight, and I'm gonna do some I'm gonna use my arms as the stability mode and the delivery of load, because I'm going to be stressing our lower body now, okay? At the same time, you're gonna be stressing your arms, but in a different way. They're not gonna be the working muscles. They're gonna be the hang on muscles, if that makes sense. As you see, Ruby is unaffected by all of this. They're sleeping. Sometimes you just want to be a dog. Okay, so here I am. See, I've got 24 pounds that I'm hanging on to. Don't grip them. As a matter of fact, let them hang to your fingers and then bring them into your palm. Go to your fingers, bring it into your palm. Those of you who are starting to notice that you're not able to grip things, and there could be many reasons, okay? I'm not saying this is the single reason. Sometimes people have had strokes. Sometimes they've had injury to their, their arm, their shoulder, whatever. They've had carpal tunnel, whatever, but they're losing grip. Look at what I'm doing. I have a 12-pound weight that I let go to my fingertips, and then I curl them into my palm. See that? I say rib cage up, I curl it into my palm, and I do it until I'm like, whoa, my hands are really stressing to do this curl. See that? See that? Yeah, and I can do a double work. I can go into the toe box, rock and roll back to the heels, but my primary focus right now is to get those hands to really finish up a pull, because we've already fatigued them, and now we're asking them to do just a little more. See that? Yeah, and now I'm gonna hang on to them, and I'm gonna go down as if I were gonna sit in my chair. And my chair is right there. My feet are a little wider than shoulder, a little, not much, almost into the shoulder range, because I'm gonna act like I'm gonna sit down, but I'm not gonna sit down. Then I'm gonna come back. Adjust where you're standing so that your chair is right behind you. Now, if you don't drift, as you come down, you should be able to feel the back part of your thigh, the back part right here on the chair. If you need to sit down, of course, sit down. However, take a big breath through the nose, drop your shoulders, fold, bring those weights right here. You're just barely skimming the chair. You're keeping your chin tucked, and then you're going to come back. And you're gonna squeeze your butt right there. Yes. Take a big breath. So this is a weighted squat to the chair level. And I do it to the chair level for safety reasons, okay? I know they're showing everything in the world on these kinds of moves. Well, some of us shouldn't do those kind of moves, but if you want to function in your world, you better be able to do a strong, steady, holding on to it, chair level, squat. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Drop your shoulders. Drop your shoulders down a little bit more with your butt. Down a little bit more now. Come up. Take a breath. Yes. So I'm capitalizing on covering your bases with functional muscles, right? That's what I'm working on today. And stair climbing, single leg stances, a squat to sit, those are very functional. And we're covering our bases to stay strong in them. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna do 2 more holds. I'm doing it with 24 pounds, okay? Here we go, down. Now as I stay down there, and I'm down as low as I can, I'm hovering over the chair. I'm just gonna do a little tiny pull. I'm pressing into the heels, pressing into the heels, pressing into the heels, pressing into the heels. Woo. Breath, and come up. Yes. Drop your shoulders. Say rib cage up. I know it. Take another breath. Recovery. This is the last one. Are you ready? Here we go. Take a breath. Come down, all the way, hover. Big breath. Big breath. Stay down there. Big breath. Drop your butt just a little more. Drop your butt. Drop your butt. Drop your butt. Drop your butt. Hold, 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 and come back up. Yay! All right. Okay. Parting shots. So I worked on a warm up to get you ready for that kind of a move. Heavy loading, squatted, sit to stand moves. Now, backing out of it, I'm covering our bases. I'm gonna use the chair again. And I'm gonna go back here and just drop my hips, okay? Just gonna drop my hips, drop my shoulders, pull my chin in, and really do a hyperextension. Take a big breath, big breath, big breath, roll up, step in, and come out. Bring your hands right out here. Do a few shoulder circles with the thumb forward, then a few with the thumb backward. And you see how I'm doing just a quick step forward, and I drop and I push my hip forward, then I come back, and as I'm doing these, I drop and I push my hip forward, and I keep my shoulders way down. Then I come in here and do a pendulum. I'm doing this in case Marilyn is on with us this morning. I'm not sure yet. I see people out there, I just don't see the names. Okay, drop your shoulders. This is one of her favorites, but you gotta do that work before you do that one. Or maybe not. Okay, then I'm just giving you a big hug right here, okay? When you do this, drop your shoulders. I know it, drop your shoulders, yeah. Drop your shoulders, yeah. Take a big breath. Great. I hope you used your gloves today. So I hope you were able to follow that covering your bases workout. Okie dokie.